So, I've looked into it. It's because I'm walking on my toes all the time. All of my leg muscles are large, like both my calves, as well as, like my thigh muscles are all very like lean and strong and big. And I don't work out or anything like that. I was going to take this chip and I was going to give it to him. And that way he could say he has it and that he can make a better life and he can turn it around for the better. All right, 5-star silver. Give me something good, baby. Give me something good. 5-star silver. People have called me out for it, said, Phil, you can't do that. It's not acceptable in any circumstance, to which I respond, you're right. I was wrong. I'm not going to do it anymore.
To be fully transparent, yes, what I'm covering today has also been covered while I've been live streaming, but the behavior exhibited by Phil in these choice moments is so reprehensible, I thought it deserved a more scripted or perhaps nuanced approach. Not to mention the fact I haven't given you an actual video for nearly a month, which I really do feel bad about. I'll try to do better in the future, but for now, let's get into it.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort,
Hogan. Drip.
snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
You couldn't write a better script. Folks, within less than a 2-day period, Review Tech USA agreed to come on my show. Then a bunch of people contacted me to say, don't have him on your show. And now it apparently is official. We're going to find out for ourselves today. He's apparently already backed out of being on the show.
If you don't know this clip and want the full I'd recommend my last live stream. I can link it in the description. Suffice it to say that Phil definitely had some hot takes in it, but the clip is also over an hour long and isn't what I really want to focus on. It's the tail end of it, the truly toxic rant. A rant so bad, it's on the level of the King Be Cruel explosion. So we'll be jumping straight to that.
I have one final thing to say about Review Tech. I'm going to finish this right here because I really, at this point, like when I did the React last month with the Kino guys, and I had the last chip, all right? I'll be honest, I thought either that was going to be the last time I was going to talk to the guy, or it could go differently, and he could come on my show, and we could actually hash it out. The reason I held on to this chip, folks, okay? The reason I held on to this chip is because I wanted to see that when that man was publicly exposed and felted to the internet, would he actually, like, fess up to his shortcomings and change and become a better person because of this? Or would he continue to spiral downward?
I know I've said this a multitude of times, but the last chip bit gets more and more cringe-inducing every time he tries to play it up. It's a 26-cent piece of a game, because that's what poker is, a game. The only value it holds is upon initial sale and whatever arbitrary value people place on it when playing poker. It's an agreed-upon representation of value to measure who is winning and who is losing the game. Phil, bringing up the chip, both verbally and literally close to the camera, confuses me as to why. Why would Rich think this, for all intents and purposes, toy, has any meaning or value to him? You ranted about Rich with 2 other people, insulted and derided him, and essentially threw your chest out to scream how superior you were. But here's the thing, Phil. Rich doesn't see you as his superior. Even if you offered the chip to him, he likely wouldn't accept it because doing so would validate the imaginary value you've placed into it. And everything I've talked about so far might be forgivable if he didn't throw in that self-righteous Karen-esque statement of Rich needed to fess up and change. And I'm not standing for Rich, far from it. I've seen the June documentary, I've seen what he's done, dude fucked up on a colossal level. But hearing Phil talk about how someone else needs to fess up and change or reflect on themselves could be equated to if John Wayne Gacy said Jeffrey Dahmer was messed up in the head.
It has now been a month and a half since this, and Rich has continued to spiral downward, worse and worse. He's not getting any better. When he sees a glimmer of hope, I'm going to do a sober stream. And the stream's actually better. Then all of a sudden, boom, he's high again on the next stream. This man, sadly, needs an intervention. He does. He needs a big brother. He needs a father. He needs a relative. He needs someone to jump into his life to help him because it's obvious he has no self-control whatsoever. And he's not going to get better unless he has an intervention. And in truth, the real reason that I still have this chip is because what I really wanted to do, now I'm going to spoil, guys. You ready? Because he's not going to be on my show ever, right? He's not. He's never going to be. He just admitted it. He's never coming on. I was going to have him on my show, and I was going to talk out some topics, and it was going to be a little bit heated. By the end of the show, all right, I was going to tell him that I forgive him for all the things that he's done to me over the years, that I want to be the better man, and I want to move forward positively with my life, and he should too. And we could agree to be respectful to each other moving forward. And I was going to tell him that if that's the case, I was going to take this chip and I was going to give it to him. And that way he could say he has it and that he can make a better life and he can turn it around for the better.
Sorry if my last bit spoiled it, but yeah, Phil was going to offer his prop of accomplishment to Rich. What's worse is that he apparently is proud of the idea and actually believes that this is him demonstrating superiority over Rich. But the real reason I stopped it here was to go over how he played out the interview happening in his head. Talk out some heated topics? I'd love to hear his internal monologue there. I imagine it's a bunch of gotcha moments that aren't actual gotcha moments, and that Rich would simply bow immediately when Phil hit him with his supreme logic. But then we get to the topic of forgiveness, which apparently required Rich coming onto the show. And for a guy who states he was taught in Catholic school, he has a pretty weird understanding of forgiveness. Forgiveness is supposed to be unconditional. You just do it. You expect nothing in return. But as always, Phil doesn't understand the concept he is espousing and makes himself look even more like a fool. I still can't believe he actually referred to himself as being the better man. Phil, you screamed into a camera for hours with two other people ripping on this man. Remember when you were butthurt about Craig decompressing when you weren't there to defend yourself? Seems like you have a bit of a double standard here. But the biggest sin of that little speech, the phrase or concept that made me roll my eyes so hard I could see my brain, was the reasoning he wanted Rich to have it. Saying that he could say he has it and could say he has a better life and turn it around for the better. Thinking that giving someone a piece of a game would somehow give them a better life has to be one of the most narcissistic things I've ever heard not just Phil say, but damn near anyone. The Kardashians are more humble than Phil. I mean, really, let that sink in.
Because I don't want this. You understand? I don't want this chip. I want him. I want to feel like this guy can be a better guy and that he can change for the better. But he's shown no way to do that at all. Like, I've tried so hard. I stopped talking about him for a month and a half. I tried to have him on the show. I just wanted to have a nice moment with the man. And I can't. He won't let me. You understand? He just won't let me do it. So, sadly, this chip will never go back to Rich. I guess I have to keep it forever. I don't want it. I literally wanted to help the man and show some respect and be like, I wish you the best in the future. Now we can be, let's move forward and forget everything that's happened in the past, like it never happened. And let's just, whether it means that we forget about each other and we don't mention each other ever again or whatever. But sadly, as you can see, he can't do that. This guy is in an endless downward spiral. He can't change for the better. He can't improve. Okay. So since this is the last time that I'm going to talk about Rich, all right, I'm just going to say a few things. I'm going to vent a little bit. All right, Rich, I'm going to tell you something right now. All right. The only reason that I allowed you to crap on me for the last decade is because I had an insane hate mob of people on my back.
I'm going to stop you right there because that statement in and of itself makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. So you had a hate mob of people on your back. Hell, you still do. But hate mob or not, nothing should have prevented you from quote-unquote fighting back if what you were going to fight back with was going to be the truth. What would it matter if you had 10 times the hate mob? Or conversely, half the hate mob? What does having a hate mob have to do with anything?
All right? If I even tried to defend myself or lash back or clap back or whatever they call, no one would care because everyone thought I was the living meme of the guy to hate. But that's changed, right? Sure, my detractors still exist, but they've been exposed as unhinged idiots. Everyone knows this. I have newfound popularity. People who want to work with me again. Things are different, right?
Wait, so that means the truth only matters if people care about you? Who actually thinks like this? This is Phil essentially saying that I only matter or need to defend myself if people like me. And oh my God, if there's not a mental health diagnosis in the DSM-5 for that line of thinking, there absolutely should be. I mean, I have low self-esteem, but this is the Mariana Trench of low self-esteem. And for clarity, I don't think that this is that feeling of, I wonder why people don't like me, or the feeling of being outcast or not fitting in. Hell, I have that constantly. No, this is Phil saying that he would let Rich attack him or rip on him and let people think lowly of him because he didn't have to impress anyone. Apparently, reputation only matters to Phil when there is some perceived level of popularity. He truly derives all of his self-worth from an external source. It sounds like he truly believes that he himself has no intrinsic value. And this track, that external source, he derives all his self-worth from things he owns or the praise of others. Think about it. How long was PC gaming the devil? Oh, but after he gets a gaming PC, now he's a hardcore member of the super elite PC master race, and only the poors play games on console. How many times has he rebutted an argument with, yeah, but people like me now? I mean, an ineffective rebuttal, sure, but a rebuttal nonetheless. We're going to see this later in the video when it gets to the Hogan polls, but the Phil that is being revealed to us over this Kino kick arc is the most depressing behavior I've ever seen Phil exhibit.
So what happened was you worked yourself into this false sense of security over the last decade where you thought, oh, it's just an easy way to punch down at Phil. I'm a million sub YouTuber. Keep punching down Phil. And you conditioned your audience to want to see that content because you knew it was an easy payday. On a day when you had nothing to offer the internet, it was crap on Phil day. Turn on a detractor video, just sit there and laugh and make fun and make money, right? That's what you did for a decade. And you might say, well, it was easy to do. It was only easy because I allowed you to do it. Do you understand me? At any moment, I could have just actually intelligently responded to you and you would have fallen the fuck apart. Because nothing you've ever said or did has substance. Literally all the content you make, your news, your reaction drama, all this shit, it's all fluff. Rich, if all of your content was deleted from the internet today, no one would miss you or care. It's that simple. No one would miss you or care. I have a 16-year catalog of playthroughs, reviews, and content that if it disappeared from the internet, people would be genuinely upset. They'd be like, where is Phil's content? Where did he go? This sucks. Even if they don't like the new stuff, the classic stuff, right? If you were erased from YouTube, people would be like, oh, anyway, moving on. One would care because you don't make any meaningful content and you never did. Do you understand me? The vile things you said and did.
We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage.
And by the way, he quits after one like the little bitch he is. Instant kill. Fuck your mother, dude. What's hilarious is that Tractor D guy literally just started insulting and then says, I'm not supporting anymore. So fuck him. He's banned for good. He ain't coming back. He's an asshole. He fucking comes in here and he starts saying toxic stuff about Derek and he starts insulting me. You can go fuck yourself and take all your fucking memberships with you too. Asshole. Congratulations to the armchair idiots in chat saying dumb shit like that. You can fucking eat the shit out of my butthole. Sambuca, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm just gonna ban you permanently right now. I've had enough of your lip tonight. You're being an asshole. All right, Snow Carl, thanks for nothing. Thanks for the $2 in nonsense, and I'm not even answering your dumb shit. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Doing a documentary about someone for hours, delving into drama for 2 hours that's not true, but presenting it as a possibility of being true because you gain from it and make thousands of dollars on it. That's harmful. I know people say, oh, he's insulting these players. Yes, I am.
We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage.
About me and my family and shit. That's a good one. I don't have a family. He's actually said this repeatedly over and over. I don't have a family. Okay, Rich, I need to explain something to you. Okay? Just because you chose to use your dick to reproduce doesn't make you better than me. The fact that I've had multiple relationships in my life that I'm happily married and I chose not to reproduce was an intelligent decision that I made. It's called self-control. You understand?
So this implies one of two things. Either A, Phil's rapping his Best Buy buddy little Phil whenever he fucks his wife, or B, they're abstaining from sex, which, let's start with the latter. I know that marriage isn't only about sex, but I don't know. In my relationships, it's a pretty important part, especially if your love language is physical touch. And if Phil is rapping his rascal every time they make mayonnaise noises, then yeah, I guess he does have more self-control than I do. Well, I don't know, because Ket's not my wife. I'm guessing I'd have more self-control if I was married to Ket. Anywho.
I made the decision to not reproduce. You don't have a one-up on me because you have children, right? You don't. In fact, that's some of the shit people make fun of you for the way that you've handled your family business. And that's your own fault for putting it on the internet. Do you understand? You're not a bigger man than me because you have kids. You're fucking insane if you believe that, right? I have a family. I'm married. I have a pet. I have parents. I have other relatives. I have a family unit established. And it's just as important and meaningful to me as yours is to you. And the fact that you think that you dangle that over the internet and be like, oh, I have a family and he doesn't. You're insane. You're absolutely fucking insane. You're a weak little man. You understand? Okay, I take that back. You're weak, but you're not little. You're definitely not little. Holy shit. But you're a person who is so insecure, and everyone knows it, right? That you tried to make that a way to make money. As I said, the moment that you put the clown makeup on, it never washes off, right? When I stream, I strive to put out positive content for my audience. Something that's entertaining and fun, sometimes informative, sometimes it's creative. Depends, because I make so many kinds of content. You don't even do that. Every time you turn on your stream, you're turning on the clown show.
Obviously, we have to discuss the weak little man comment because Phil referring to anyone as weak is laughable. We've seen his horrendous legs, we've seen his bat flaps, his lack of biceps, and his man tits. And this is clothed, mind you. Why bring that up? to fully illustrate the delusional fantasy world that Phil lives in. You see, Phil has to see himself naked. He has to look at himself in a mirror, and seeing all his jiggly fatness somehow finds a way to think, yeah, I look good, and I am incredibly strong. So strong, in fact, that he has the gall to call others weak. These aren't even delusions of grandeur anymore. These are delusions of biblical proportions. If that doesn't blow your mind, I urge you to remember this part, where Phil is talking about Rich putting on the clown show. Because when we get to the clip where he's pulling Hogan's, it's gonna be topical.
You are nothing. You are a fucking ant on the ground that I accidentally step on. Do you get it? You're no one. You're a nobody. And you're never gonna be big again because you fucked your life up so fucking bad. You're a screw up. And this, which you could have had back if you just wanted to act like a mature adult, a fucking person with a soul, with a conscience, with some morals in your head, and you came on the show, and we did what I wanted to do, and you could have got your chip back, and we could have moved on. But even you're not smart enough for that. You just can't fucking be a man. You know, your meme is that Phil is a man. Yes, I am. You're not. You may have a family, but you ain't a fucking man. You're a bitch. A lifelong bitch. And no one's gonna fix that for you. You gotta fix that yourself, but I'm fucking done with you.
It doesn't matter how many times I watch this, it never fails to get a giggle out of me, followed by a cringe. This feels like a boy with no power desperately trying to tell their schoolyard bully that they're not afraid of them anymore. It's kinda sweet in that Phil just tried to put on a tough guy act to reclaim some form of masculinity, but it's also really sad. The best parallel I can draw is the age-old picture of a non-defined and very white dude at a bodybuilder competition, which you can see here, and if you don't know it, it's been online for ages, but I went ahead and still censored the guy's face. See, when I look at this, I think a few things. First, performing on stage, be that flexing or heavy lifts, requires some courage, so just getting on stage gets you a brownie point from me. However, Phil isn't outside his comfort zone here. He's in his Snort fort of power, so in this instance here, there is no parallel. Where the parallel does exist is that Phil, acting like a tough guy, fits in with his physique and persona exactly as well as this fella does in the bodybuilding competition. Phil acting tough immediately makes me think, oh no, baby, what is you doing? And then I feel pity for him. I feel embarrassed for him because he doesn't realize the embarrassment that he is. And just when you think, well, it can't get much worse, right? He has to lay down that bitch insult towards Rich, to which I'm begging you, Phil, just stop with this cringe bullshit, okay? Phil, earlier you said Rich wasn't a man. You know what one of the defining traits of traditional manliness is? Honesty. And to that point, how's down from the rafters treating you, Phil?
I'm never gonna speak about your dumb fucking ass again because you are nothing to me. You are like a fart in the fucking wind that you smell for a second, then it's gone, and you don't ever have to deal with it ever again. You're done. Don't fucking bring me up, you bitch-made loser, because your content fucking sucks. It's not content. It's for dumb, mouth-drooling, stunted individuals who don't even get that your narratives aren't your own, that you're just regurgitating my detractors. Fuck off and go away.
I mean, everyone knew a power sip was coming after that, right? Do you see what I mean when I say I feel embarrassed for him? I always thought that there were ways of behaving that were seen as shameful or embarrassing nearly universally, but Phil keeps showing me how wrong I am. But now that we're through the bulk of that cringe, let's move on to some happy cringe. The cringe where Phil acts like a legitimate child at Christmas as he opens his $100 digital pack of sweaty men JPEGs. No. I'm not joking.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort,
Hogan. Drip.
snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I received a $74 tip from Hogan Yanker, and says Hogan Yanker does not break promises. $74 tip. That means we are going to be doing a second mega pull tonight. Let's pull some zombie Hogans tonight. Oh, when the moon is bright, we pull Hogans tonight. Yeah, brother. All right. Well, Hogan Yanker with our top tip of the night. And that means we raised $300, which means 2 mega pulls. Very nice. We have one more match to do with Sammy, and then we'll do it. All right. Okay. All right, you guys ready? Let's do it. Let's do our mega pull, and then we'll do some tours, and we'll end the night. Here we go. Mega pull time, guys. Thank you so much for your support tonight, guys. Seriously, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. Let's see what we get. And then we'll continue on here. Whoa, we're right to gold. We're right to a 5-star gold pull right off the bat. And it's a dupe of Seth Rollins, but it's a fuse. All right. We're going to do some clicking to go a little bit faster here. All right, we got a 5-star bronze, and it's a dupe. Well, it's a fuse of Zombie John Cena. Here we go.
Remember when I said to keep that quote about putting on the clown makeup in your head? This is why. Throughout this whole ordeal, Phil is going to spout information about this free game, like it's a investment portfolio, what wrestlers give the most for the money, his theory about how RNG system works, and I just like to remind everyone in the viewing audience, he knows wrestlers by sight alone. Some of these don't even have names on them, but Phil has no idea what his max bench, squat, or deadlift were. Which actually makes sense, seeing that Phil never worked out seriously and has been weak his entire life, but I digress. Let's get back to the embarrassing cringe. Reminder, this isn't a teen or a 20-something. This is a full grown-ass 42-year-old man who has spent nearly $1,500 getting giddy over literal ones and zeros.
All right, 5-star silver pull, and it's a... Oh, no. I already got bad vibes. I already got a really bad feeling about what's about to happen. When we just got that as the first silver pull. Oh, thank you, DSP is to go for a $5 super chat. He says, let's pull some fire, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, DSP is to go. So in truth, I'm happy. Even though tonight I spent enough, like $220 for these pulls, I still made bank. Like I'm at 315 in support, so I still made some bank on the stream. And we got Zombie, Sami Zayn. So I'm happy. But let's see if we can get something better, right? Before we get fucked up here by this horrible pull. Here we go. Mr. Jupel, thank you for a month as a member. And he says you can just try following the pay-per-views. WD is great with their recaps. Okay. All right, 5-star silver. Give me something good, baby. Give me something good. 5-star silver. Oh, the pain, dude. Get over it. How many fucking zombie Drews did they give me tonight? Yo, how many zombie Drews did they give me tonight, dude?
I am in no way joking when I say that this is legitimate addict behavior. Normally seen at casino tables or slot machines, the "I just missed it" behavior is easily recognizable here. But I'd put this more towards the crackhead level of addiction. The exuberance and glee that Phil is exuding is remarkable. I don't think he went this hog wild when he got Street Fighter 6 characters to master, but here Phil is actually talking about pain that his gold or silver cards or shards or repeats. Oh, and to be 100% clear, I am not begrudging people who enjoy gacha games. I'm begrudging Phil's addiction, which led him to a bankruptcy that involved the forgiving of hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and the fact that he learned absolutely nothing from that series of events. If there's a top 10 list of when Phil should feel ashamed, this might be within the top 5.
Oh my God. So Patrick says, I mentioned, but I'll repeat, I was watching your Mario 64 stream. Your chat was super toxic. It's nice to see the chat is here to enjoy and not to troll you. In general, that's the case these days. Like you're talking about like back in the Twitch days. The Twitch days, this chat was so fucking trolling and toxic. I agree with you. These days on YouTube, things are much better. Like even look at my video comments. They're good. It's good comments. Like people are happy to watch my content and to enjoy it. So I'm very happy with how things have gone in the positive direction recently. Right? Yeah.
Another way to know if you have an addict? Denial or changing facts to fit your own narrative, such as, look at my comments, people love the videos. I've submitted several comments which have no triggering words in them whatsoever, and they just never seem to make the cut. Same with other detractors. A word of advice, if you ever go to a video where the dislikes are greater than, say, 20% of the likes, yet the comments are nothing but praise or requests to fillet the video author, that author or creator is censoring comments. Full stop.
Every single pull is a dupe so far, guys. Literally every single pull is a dupe. You can't make it up. Oh, unbelievable pull. 6 stars. And it's Kofi Kingston for the millionth time. Oh, what a waste. What a waste of an unbelievable pull. What an awful waste. Oh, man. Oh. Such pain. It could have been anything, dude. It could have been anything. It fucking has to be a card I've pulled a million times, man. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. 33 pulls. We haven't gotten a single good pull in this yet. I told you, man. Not a single. Oh, no. Oh, no. You like Gunther? Gunther, I when he was in NXT, he was really good, but I haven't seen him in years. I haven't seen any of his recent stuff. Yeah, this might be worse than the other pull the other night. This might literally be the worst, unless they surprise us. Oh, okay, unbelievable. Come on, something new. Oh, No, not Elias. Are you kidding me? Not Elias. That's who they gave me. Oh, no. He's a card so worthless, literally no one ever uses him, ever. Ugh.
I'll only bring this up one more time as to not belabor the point, but Jesus Christ, man. They're digital cards for a Candy Crush-styled game. You know, at least with physical cards like Magic the Gathering, there are limited runs, ones that aren't in print anymore, and that makes them collectible. Digital cards don't have that scarcity. They can easily be quote-unquote made ad infinitum. And while I still can't find it, I swear there is a clip out there of Phil boasting about how good it feels to earn cards from these gacha games, like having the cards makes you special or something, which sounds just like a crackhead.
At least we got Zombie Sami Zayn tonight. At least we got something. That second pull was an utter pound of bullshit. That was atrociously bad. One of the worst ever. That was crap. All right, well, we had our fun. We never do double pulling. We had our fun. I made a lot of money. Look at that. I made a lot of coins out of that.
I wanted to get that last little bit in there about the I made a lot of money, because I need to make sure you don't forget that this little escapade where Phil went full junkie, that wasn't free. He paid over $100 for that. I just wanted to remind you all of that. Anyway, I have two more very quick clips to cover, so let's get to them.
Where are you going?
That boat to Taiwan's waiting for you. Your life of slave labor awaits.
Stop.
As you can see, I was making children's slave labor jokes in 2012. Okay? That doesn't mean I condone it. That doesn't mean I think that it's messed up or it's a messed up dark joke. It's a joke that I've actually been telling for many, many, many years. But it's only people who are pieces of disingenuous shit.
I'm a scat man.
Will try to say that it's some kind of an awful joke and shit like that. No, it's not. It's actually not. It's a fine joke. It's not meant to be serious. It's supposed to be an extreme dark joke for shock value. If you're offended by it, you're probably a sissy girl. Sorry.
I'm assuming I'm supposed to follow.
Yeah, so slave labor being a dark joke is supposed to be acceptable. And again, I'm about as anti-woke as you can be, but one, the issue isn't the joke. The issue is how quickly you correlate certain races to slave labor. Two, one could argue that the tone in which you are making the jokes encapsulate how you see that race, and to be quite blunt, Phil, you come off as an asshole here. And three, the joke adds nothing to your content. It's not funny, and even if it were, the timing is completely off. Lastly, saying someone is a sissy girl if they're offended by something is very easy to do while you're sitting behind a keyboard. When are you going to say these things with your chest out loud and in public, Phil? And lastly, we have this clip.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort,
Hogan, drip,
snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
See what I mean? This constructive criticism person isn't actually giving constructive criticism. They're just regurgitating troll memes over and over. And it just doesn't matter. The stuff you're saying doesn't matter. The people who are here on my streams enjoy my content, like me as a person, and, you know, are happy that I've admitted to my shortcomings the last couple of months, fessed up to them, and I'm changing for the better. They like the changes I made. They like the content I'm making. They like everything.
If you don't know, this clip is about Phil saying the N-word. What does he mean they don't matter? Does he mean that they don't matter to his viewers? If that's true, why are viewers bringing it up? Or are you just dismissing every person who brings up your past as a detractor? Secondly, no, Phil, it does matter. It may not matter to you, since you think you should never be held accountable for your actions, but to the rest of the waking world, it does. Just because a murderer didn't kill my family member doesn't mean that their crime doesn't matter to me. It absolutely does. Additionally, when it comes to matters of racism, a person's past will define them for years. So not to beat a dead horse here, not Cat Phil, I'm sure she and Tyrone are fine downstairs, but yes, your racist past absolutely matters.
So your point when you come in here and you say, oh, but Phil did this in the past and Phil did that in the past. Yeah, the past. You're right. The past is the past, you incredible mouth-drooling dunce. It's the past. Now we're in the present and we're moving towards the future. We don't live in the past like you, where the detractors live. The detractors always live in the past. Like, they actually now, here we go again, like they don't do the same shit in a cycle, right? They're trying to circulate around some kind of a montage of me saying the N-word. Despite the fact that in 16 years of content, I've never actually said the N-word. I've said variations of it in a time when I was like playing a character or reiterating what someone else said, like when Booker T accidentally said it on WCW TV, and I think I was playing like Prince of Persia 15 years ago, and I just said what Booker T said. Oh, you see, Phil says the N-word. No, I don't. I've literally never actually said the N-word once. I've only said variations of it in a comedic fashion, reiterating what someone else said or playing a character, and it was all a decade or more ago. You are full of shit, but this is what I mean. They literally regurgitate the same shit over and over and over as if it's something new because they live in the fucking past. That's what these morons do. They're that dumb.
I've never done it except for the times that I've done it. Brilliant play here, Phil. Just top notch. Also, what the hell is a variation of the N-word? Does he mean like non-hard R? Because, sorry, bud, that's still the N-word. Also, you've never owned up to or taken accountability for the times you have said it in the past. Now, when we couple this with the previous clip, the one where you were defending the slave trade jokes, do you see why people might think you're a racist piece of shit?
Yeah, why do you think they wanted me to watch back the alternate choices run of Heavy Rain? There's a reason, because that was one of the instances where I actually said that word. Ooh. A variation of it, not the full word, not like they say, not the hard R, but the variation of it, because I was playing as one of the characters in the game. I was like doing voice commentary like I was them in the moment, as I used to do, that kind of improv commentary and shit. But I mean, that was 2010, right? It was 2010. It's 2024. I don't do that stuff anymore. I haven't in a very, very long time.
Fiddle's a nigger. Fiddle's a nigger. Fiddle's a nigger.
People have called me out for it, said, Phil, you can't do that. It's not acceptable in any circumstance, to which I respond, you're right. I was wrong. I'm not going to do it anymore, right? But then here we go. All of a sudden, it's 2024, and my detractors want to act like I'm a racist again. It's like, no, you tried that last year, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before. It's still the same shit. You don't have anything to say anymore. You don't. There's nothing left. The stuff you're saying is so bullshit. You know what I mean? And they keep rehashing it, right?
Yes, Phil, we keep rehashing it because you keep avoiding it. You said it. You've made racist jokes about the slave trade. Admit it's wrong, apologize, and move on. But no, you want to deny you said it or want to defend making jokes about selling children into slavery because, that's just peak comedy. Anyway, thanks to everyone who waited patiently for me to put something out that wasn't a live stream. I again feel terrible it's been taking me this long to get something out, and I wish I could say my releases will be more consistent, but the pipeline for the rest of this year is filling rapidly, so I guess we'll see. Big ups to Snort Hogan for the clips, and to Rebsi for letting me carve out a montage using his videos. Go sub to both of them. A massive thank you to all my members, especially my gym rats, and a special shout out to the neophytes too. Both of you guys haven't been able to use or exercise your early access perk in a while. Hopefully you'll enjoy using it this time. Until next time, swole is the goal for a troll, lift heavy, eat clean. I see here on your application you said you were affiliated with the clan. Yeah, see, 10 years ago I was a Grand Dragon. What? That was 10 years ago. Does that disqualify me from being a teacher or something?